Hey students, welcome to another Mr. Nest screencast. Today's aim is refugees and asylum, and here are your objectives. Pause the video, look these questions over, and get ready to copy some vocab terms and take some notes. Forced migration occurs when someone has no choice but to leave their home country. You've already learned about one example of forced migration in this class, and that was the forced migration of millions of people from West Africa to the Americas between 1500 and 1800, also known as the transatlantic slave trade. But in the next several lessons, you'll be looking at modern day forced migrations, and these differ from slavery in an important way. The people you will be learning about now are fleeing extreme push factors that make it impossible to stay in their home country, and they have some control over the destination country that they flee to. Pay attention to these push factors and to the relationship that migrants have to the new places they end up living in. The people you're going to learn about now are called refugees. Refugees must leave their home country because if they remain there, they face the risk of imprisonment, violence, or even death. Like a refugee, an internally displaced person, or IDP, is someone forced to leave his or her home. But unlike refugees who flee to other countries, internally displaced persons flee their homes to other places within their own country. They do not cross a border. Internally displaced persons can be thought of as refugees within their own country. Both refugees and internally displaced persons are a result of forced migration because, by definition, their migration is involuntary. These terms almost always go together, and it might help you to remember that if you draw an arrow on your vocab sheet connecting them. One more thing to be careful of. According to international law, economic migrants are not considered refugees or internally displaced persons. Economic migrants are people who migrate in search of better job opportunities, and most migrants today fall into this category. But although poverty or a lack of jobs in someone's country could make life impossible for them, international law does not consider people fleeing economic push factors to be refugees. And this distinction is important because international law does grant refugees a special right called asylum, which economic refugees are not entitled to. Asylum is the right of refugees to remain in the first country in which they arrive. So, according to international law, if someone is a refugee, that means that they are fleeing persecution, war, or violence, and if they succeed in leaving their country and arriving in another one, then in theory they are entitled to asylum and they have permission to remain in that country. However, as you'll see in class, determining who qualifies as a refugee and therefore for asylum is a complicated task and is greatly influenced by political changes in destination countries. The last term today is brain drain. Brain drain refers to the emigration of a country's educated citizen. Brain drain is common in conditions of forced migration like a war because compared to the population as a whole, educated citizens often have more resources that are needed to leave the country. Those resources include money, as well as the knowledge needed to navigate the legal process needed to get asylum. But brain drain is bad for a country because educated citizens are needed to help run things. Think about doctors, engineers, scientists, civil servants. If these people leave, there's no one left with the knowledge to make the country run smoothly. Now take a look at this map of refugees by source country in 2025. The 5 countries with the most number of refugees are Syria, Ukraine, Afghanistan, Venezuela, and Sudan. In class, you will look at what is happening in each of these countries that is leading to so much forced migration. And now it's time to review the objectives. If you don't know the answer to any of them, rewind the video and look again. and I will see you in class. Bye, students.